What up, dudes? No. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Monday Night Live beer review here on the Beer Patrol. And as you can see, I have some guests I will introduce shortly. But first, the two beers we're going to review today come from the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, and they are out of Boston, Massachusetts, and a whole bunch of other places I'm not going to mention because there's too many. And we are going to be reviewing their Sam 76 and their Samuel Adams New England Style IPA. So we'll get to the reviews momentarily. We're going to be doing Sam 76 first, but now it's time to introduce, baby, who I got here on the panel tonight. So both of these individuals are fellow beer tubers and good friends of mine, but they've also been on the channel before multiple times. First and foremost, we're going to introduce Nick, aka Maxwell Star from Maxwell Star's Beer Reviews. Nick, thank you for joining me once again. Get up in that microphone. Get up.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me on your channel. This very professional operation that you run.
Yeah, this is super professional. Absolutely no joking around, no cussing, nothing. No mentions of Greg. Damn it, I broke the rule. Fuck me.
Breaking your own rule.
Yeah,
sorry. I was trying to get it right. Just want to make sure I get the right angle so that the microphone cover just barely covers my chin.
Yeah. Soon you won't have a chin. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Well, hey, who knows, right?
We'll see how it all goes if I can keep up with it.
Yeah. Well, you will, Nick. I have faith in you. Also, Nick, thank you for joining us. As always, Nick, check out Nick's channel. We'll do all the plugs later, but Maxwell Star, he's close to 1,000 subs. He will actually be able to monetize his videos at some point in the probably very near future. So go over there and give him a sub if you haven't. Great content over there. Every single Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this month. But then after that, we don't know because Google might be shutting down the Hangouts on Airs, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, other person joining me is Jesse over at Bumpy Road Brewery. If you haven't checked him out, great home brewer. He does his Bumpy 50-point tastings, so to speak. And thanks for joining again, Jesse, as always, buddy. Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, is that the
very pleased to be here.
Jesus Christ, Jesse. Christ. Already dad jokes without even saying anything. That's the best part about it. So we'll go to comments real quick. Well, actually, first let me mention that if you're watching this back on replay, I'll have timestamps in the description box like I always do, so you can just click around. I also want to mention that if you're watching this live, I will be looking at the comments, as probably all of us will be, and I'll be reading them throughout the course of the show. And then I don't know anything I got going on in the next couple of weeks. The next month or so for me and this channel as far as live reviews, hit or miss. I will probably have at least one more show, maybe two more on Monday nights this month. I just don't know what they're going to be, and I don't know exactly what week. So just check out my channel a couple days before Monday, maybe a Friday, Saturday. I should have stuff updated, but I don't know if I'll have one next week, probably the week after. Anyway, we'll go to comments. You guys can crack open Sam 76 if you want to. That's what we're going to be reviewing. So let me go to comments real quick here.
Yeah, mute myself before you.
And then the perfect pint glass too.
Yeah, proper glassware.
I do have a
perfect. Gonna make this one taste awesome.
I have a perfect pint glass, and I elected not to use it because fuck it. Anyway, Jesse from earlier before the show started said, Rajay told me I should come out and check out your channel. So here I am. Cheers. I see what you did there, Jesse. Rajay shouting me out in 75 straight other half review, so that was fun. Rod then says, yo, that's right, Bumpy. And then he says, what? Unacceptable, because I said we might start late because Nick might not be on time. Of course, Nick did make it, and we're on time, so thank you, Nick, for not making us late. And you were going to throw this
I'm glad I ruined it for everybody. So
yeah, you were going to throw this entire professional operation right out the window, and it would have been totally on you, not any of us.
Well, I couldn't possibly do that to you, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate the respect you have for me, which is almost zero, but slightly above. Craig from Kent Beer Review says, don't keep your international audience waiting, all one of you, Craig. But I do appreciate you watching, buddy. Earth says, super professional, says, I bet no one ever thought they'd be held hostage for some Samuel Adams hype whales. And I can't believe it either. Yet here we are. And then Earth says, my anxiety is through the roof. What will we say about these beers? I have no idea. Rajay says the time is now. Here we go. Earth says, right now, daddy. Yeah, baby. And then Rod says, oh, I've had these. Looking forward to seeing what the panel says. And Rajay says, and there's the big mic. This is a huge mic. Let me caress it a little bit. You should get up there. You know what I mean? And then Earth says, what's the trade ratio on these? I'm pretty sure these trade 1-for-1 for every other half beer, Treehouse beer, and Trillium beer, as far as I know. Maybe 2-for-1 for Monkish. I don't know. We'll see. And then Rajay says, all the shouts out, babies. And then Jeff, no jinx, says, sup, fellas, cheers. All right. So appreciate every. Yeah. He said he gave you the Both tweet, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, those beers are delicious. So when it comes to the Sam 76, this is we were discussing it. They call it an ale lager hybrid. It's basically a Kolsch. They don't call it a Kolsch. Seems like it's a Kolsch. They don't come out and say it's a Kolsch. It's probably a Kolsch. So we're just going to go with it's a damn Kolsch. And it comes in at 4.7% alcohol by volume, 12 IBUs. And at the time of review, what is the freshness on your guys'? On mine, best on the, it just has the day. It says July 2019 for me. And it looks like it was canned on the 65th day of 2019. So probably like 4 months old with this one, almost 5. Definitely getting close to the Best Buy, though. What do you guys got?
Well, I've got September 5th of 2019. Like, I can't really make out the other one because it's kind of on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it says 419 or something like that.
All right. So, yeah, you got a fresh can. How about you, Nick, being up there and canning it out?
I'm not sure if this is my Canadian talking because I've got the bilingual can here.
No, for fuck's sake.
Sam 76 vous offre le goût. I'm not going to read that. So, yeah, my best before date reads April 2020. It does say something here about 0404, so maybe it was brewed in April. So
yeah, it's probably April 4th of 2019, giving it the year Best Buy date. I know they like to do that for you guys. Well, most international countries when I think they do the whole year. So everybody is relatively fresh and within the date. Mine is pushing it. Doesn't matter. It's a Kolsch. We'll be all right. So it pours out pretty much a cloudy yellow color. You know, mostly chill haze, I would say. I mean, there's some clarity, but it's definitely, mine has chill haze for sure.
Ditto.
I think we all got the same kind of.
Yeah.
Slightly hazy body with chill haze on the outside. I think there is still some slight haze to it.
Yeah, there's
mine's not no chill haze. That's just haze.
Yeah, you can see through it slightly. Like it has like maybe like 25%, going on. Like it doesn't look like New England IPA, baby, but it's not crystal clear. About a 2-finger off-white head, creamy looking. I don't know. Looks like a Kolsch. I don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, get a nose. Yeah.
Grassy, citrusy.
Yeah, grassy, slightly earthy, citrusy, like lemon, more lemon, like a lemon lime type of thing, more lemon. A little graininess.
A little bit of peach too, I find.
First thing I was actually getting was grapefruit.
Yeah. Definitely citrus heavy for me. You say peach, Nick, and I could see that maybe slight stone fruit, but this is more citrus, like more like pithy too as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting like it started out as grassy and then it's moved to the pink grapefruit and into the stone fruit category. It's got a nice a little complex aroma for something as interesting sounding as a lager and ale.
Yeah, I mean. This honestly drinks more like smells more like a pale ale that they mix with like just a generic lager kind of, because I'm getting a little hoppiness. I mean, though, that's what I'm getting from like the citrus, slight stone fruit, the grassy, like earthy component. I feel like that's the hops. Yeah,
it's definitely more hop forward in the aroma department than I was expecting.
I do get kind of like a lemon or a lemongrass type aroma, very faint, but it is there, almost like a like one of those shandies or whatever.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Slightly.
He'll allow judges, as Chris always says, judges. I don't know. There is no judges.
Judges.
I was going to wait for Nick to take a sip. And then you hear I get a little bit of a kumquat too.
Oh boy, kumquat.
It's like, well, it's like, will we take? It's like, survey says yes. Ding.
Yeah. He used to edit those, and then he was like, "F it, I'm done with it."
One thing I will say, if I'm allowed to say something, I did a quick Google search on the process in this. Apparently, they use both lager and ale yeast in this. That's why they call it a lager and ale.
So it's not technically a Kolsch then.
It's technically weird.
It's
tag team fermentation. They called it apparently.
I mean, they're innovative, they're creative, they're Sam Adams. I mean, just
Well, I don't think anybody ever actually done that with yeast. Yeah, has anybody ever actually done that with yeast? So.
I don't know,
like split yeast kind of thing.
There's some breweries have done that.
Yeah,
using different yeast styles.
Anyway, it smells solid. It smells kind of what I expected it to smell like. So let's get into it, boys and girls.
Oh,
cheers!
Cheers!
You've been already drinking, Jesse. It's all right.
I thought you guys were drinking. You were just getting your nose deep in there. I'm sorry.
Full disclosure: Jesse's the only one of us three that has had this one before, and he had a whole 12-pack of it. So. I don't hate it.
No, it's not bad.
I do get that bit of a lemon flavor. It's almost kind of going towards the summer ale a little bit. Not quite pushing as gross, but
Peach and passion fruit. I'm getting peach and passion fruit from this.
What kind of fucking crazy palate do you have right now, Nick? You trying to, show us up here, buddy? Peach and passion fruit. What is this? What is this?
Just saying.
No,
it's very light.
I know,
Nick. This is very light.
It is. This is. I say this all the time, and a lot of people hate the term, but this is crushable. It's refreshing. Yeah. It's fucking super warm and humid on. Like I could, right now we're reviewing this, but I could take this down easily and like just hammer it out.
I get a tad bit of a tea note in mine too. I don't know if anybody's picking up.
A slight like black tea note almost.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you that. It's kind of reminding me of like some kind of like passion fruit, stone fruit, citrusy kind of herbal tea or something like that. Like the black tea really does come out in the finish.
That what I'm getting from it is basically like when I drink an IPA, just like an old school American IPA that's like 4 to 6 months old, and the hop flavors have kind of dissipated, and I'm left with that. I mean, it's not off-putting. I never find it off-putting, but I can usually tell the beer's older when that happens. And this beer is right by the Best By date, probably 6 months old. So maybe that's the hops themselves. Who knows?
Like it's not light, so much light in body. I think the addition of the way the carbonation sits very, very creamy. It does go down quite easy, quite refreshing. This is definitely a nice summer crusher.
That's definitely not as carbonated as a lot of like lagers would be.
No, the body is like light to higher side of light body. Like it's thin, it's watery, but it's 4.7%. What are you expecting from it? Like that sub 5%. You're not looking for a huge body, and I've actually like that this is lighter. Like that's what you want, right? Like you guys say, the carbonation's like low to moderate, which is perfect, I think, for it. I don't want it too effervescent and like too crisp. I don't think. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. I don't find it's fine for what it is. And, I mean, I paid $1.10 a can for this can, like $1.10. I imagine 6 packs are $7, $8, maybe $9 for something you could drink a 6-pack of, not get effed up and just enjoy during the summer months. I can't really argue too much against it.
Does I get like a little bit of like a fuzzy dry tongue. It's not like super dry, like you're drinking like a sour or anything like that, but it does have a dry.
Yeah, a little fuzzy in the carbonation and very drying finish. So I do get what you mean by fuzzy dry tongue.
And I actually
trying to say something, so I'm going to let him say something.
No, I was just saying I agree. I think this beer is really sweet up front for me. Like it's pretty sweet throughout the palate, but that dryness at the end saves it immensely for me because I feel like if that dryness wasn't there, this might be a bit too sweet for me if I was to drink in session on it. I think that dryness actually is a welcome component. Instead of having a bitterness to balance it out, I think the dryness does a great job and makes you go back for more, kind of kills the sweetness. So I think it's balanced from that aspect quite a bit.
I think after listening to you two talk about this beer, I like it a little bit more than I used to.
Well, listen, I haven't drank its 12-pack like you. Here's the thing. I don't think this has a lot of flavor. I mean, we're reviewing it, so we're trying to pick out flavors. I think it's very mild in its flavors. I think I get that citrus pithiness, a little bit of that black tea like earthiness, and a slight touch of stone fruit base grain from the malts. But I think like if I was to rate this for what they're going for, like what they're telling us this is an ale hybrid, or ale lager hybrid, 4.7%, some kind of beer you just want to kind of relax and drink, I think I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5. Like maybe a 4.75. Like this, I think they've hit the nail on the head for what they're going for. Personal rating for me though, I 3.5. I think 3.5 out of 5 is fair. I think I don't think I could go much higher than that. It's well made. It's a good beer, but it's not. Even though they're talking about like being super innovative and whatnot, like you can't really tell honestly. But that's what they're probably going for, They're like, oh, all this crazy stuff, but then you drink it and you're like, oh, it's just has some flavors that are like an ale and super refreshing like a lager, just like they say on the can, man.
No, this was another talk that was brought up on somebody else's channel. We kind of did this talk about ratings. So with your 5-point scale, you're like a 2.5 to you. Is that like an average?
Yeah, 2.5.
That's how I always thought.
On mine, like 2.5 and is passable. That's the passable. If I give something a 2.5, I can pass it. Doesn't mean I like it or I'd ever buy it again or whatever, but I could drink it. Once you hit 3.5 for me, I find that's a good beer. I probably still wouldn't buy it. 3.75 is when I start getting to the range where I'd buy it again and I enjoy it. Once you start getting into like the mid 4s up, those are beers that are like world class, amazing to me. So
Stuff,
yeah, it's a pretty simple formula. I try to go. I mean, ratings don't. I rate on my channel. I know you both do, and honestly, ratings don't mean anything other than the person that's actually rating them. I always stick by that because, whatever. We all have different opinions and different ratings or whatever. But like 3.5, like what I'm saying about this beer at 3.5 is that I don't think I'll purchase this again, but I would totally drink the shit out of it if I went to a party and somebody had it, or I was somewhere where there weren't a lot of options and I was like, I know that's a good, refreshing beer. I'll grab it. So that's the way I think about this one personally.
Good. So I'll go with the 3.5 because I was going to go 3.25, but I wasn't sure about the whole scale thing for you. So
I was
3.5 matches. If that's what your 3.5 is, that matches just kind of how I feel about it. Like if this is offered to me, I'd drink it. I wouldn't purchase this again, like at a store.
Yeah.
If I was at a restaurant and they had basically, very slim pickings, and this was like the craft beer of choice, like a lot of restaurants will have like only Sam Adams, Boston Lager or whatever, and everything else is all macro, lagers and stuff. Then, yeah, I would purchase this.
Fair enough. How about you, Nick?
One of the things I got to factor in when I think about this beer is the fact that I got up in Canada, at least I have to pay $4.19 a can for this. How much did you say you guys paid for the 6-pack?
I didn't pay. I bought a single can for $1.10 American.
Oh, yeah, I think I
12 ounce can.
I bought this for like $1.59 or something for one can.
Okay, see, if I could pay that price for this stuff, I would crush it all the time. This is incredibly easy drinking. I love the mouthfeel on it. I find it extremely refreshing and super flavorful, even though it's mild. I mean, it might be really mild, but sometimes that's what you want when you want a nice, refreshing, like just came in from like doing a workout, or if you came in from like mowing the lawn or something like this. This is an incredible beer for that kind of stuff. But for the price, might be better stuff out there, but I think this is an excellent beer to try at least once or maybe a couple times. And you're right. If I went to a party and they had this there, like a whole bunch of this stuff there, I would drink the shit out of it because it's pretty good. I'm actually going to score just a smidge higher than you and give you the Nick rating and give it a 3.75 out of 5.
I fucking knew it.
You knew it.
Oh no, that's fair. And that's the thing is like the price point. So value and availability. Before I get the comments, Jesse paid like a mid, like you said, $1.59, $1.69 for that was a 16-ounce can. So you're talking about a 473 milliliters for those Canadians watching, or I guess non-Americans in general.
Here's what I got. So yeah,
you had the 473. I have a 12-ounce 355, and I paid $1.10. Now, if you do the conversion, you said, what'd you pay for that, Nick? Canadian?
$4.19.
$4.19. So
you can probably like $3.
About $3. Now that's basically double the price. Now, granted, it's imported, right? That isn't brewed at the.
No, according to this, it's brewed in Boston.
So you're going to pay a premium, but are you going to pay a double the amount premium? You shouldn't. I mean, we're neighboring countries. It shouldn't be that ridiculous. Yeah, it's stupid in general. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't pay $3. I wouldn't for like if this can was $2.20 or $2.50 a can. I would not pay that personally. But for $1.10 or probably like $8 a 6-pack, yeah, clearly all the time.
So it's that price that's keeping me from ever thinking about buying this again. But at the same time, I did really enjoy it.
Yeah. And availability, it's pretty much in the States everywhere that Sam Adams gets distribution, which is pretty much every single state at this point. And you see it, of course, in Nick gets it in Canada. I don't know if they have this in Ontario, honestly. I think this is just
no. I was actually thinking of maybe doing this for Beer Analysis 101 last weekend, but guys in Ontario can't get this.
Yeah.
I guess I'm special.
Yeah, well, in many ways, Nick. So we'll read the comments real quick. So 3.5 out of 5 for Jesse and myself, 3.75 for Nick. We all thought it was a pretty tasty beer. Stylistically, we probably all would rate this a little higher because we're just personal preferences, our rating, but like it would probably get all above 4, I'd imagine, for what they're going for. Yeah, it's a good beer, and I'll probably end up drinking it again. I just probably won't buy it. Anyway, so Jake shows up and says, sorry, I'm late. He apologizes. You don't have to apologize, Jake. I don't expect you to show up. You shouldn't. The channel's terrible. And he says, mine's best by May 2019. Whoops. You'll be all right, Jake. He says, maybe it's the camera, but mine looks a lot paler. It's definitely the camera. In person, this looks to me like more like a lemon yellow with like hints of orange, and on camera it looked like straight up orange to me. So I think the cameras on all of ours definitely was a bit darker than what I was seeing personally.
Mine's closer to
I mean,
straw
this
yellow.
is just above like a 2 SRM, which would be straw.
Yeah, it's
going into pale gold, but it's not quite there yet.
So all of our cameras have it a bit darker. So for sure, Jake. Rod says earthy, essence of at Earth, and then Earth says I would say more on the yeasty side. Rod, Jesus Christ, guys. Rod says no shandies, LOL, because he hates shandies. I guess when you mentioned shandies, Jesse, just instantly turned Rod off.
It's definitely not a shandy.
And he says it's a light. Was that?
That was
not a shandy. It doesn't suck.
Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's true. And then Rod says it's a light American lager style, I believe. Whatever they want to call it, Rod. Whatever they want to call it, they're calling it a special hybrid that doesn't exist because they're breaking barriers. Super innovative.
Yeah, it's not really light either because it's 4.7% ABV. So I mean, that's
I would just call it like this tastes like so many Kolsch's I've had before in a lot of respects. Maybe a little more hop forward, more like a dry hop Kolsch, maybe something like that. That's what I'm getting.
Yes,
okay, I can give you that.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had
maybe with the little lemon zest or something.
Yeah, I've had a dry hop Kolsch recently, and honestly, that one was a little better than this. Yeah. But it was very similar. Just had more intensity of flavors.
As far as Kolsch's go, I find it's really hard to get one that's properly well made. It doesn't taste like a butter bomb. Really well. If that's what they went for, then that's really nice.
Yeah, and I don't know if they did go for a Kolsch. I'm just saying this kind of gives me reminiscing, so to speak, when I'm thinking about it like a Kolsch. I'm like, okay, similar.
I mean, really, they used ale yeast, they used lager yeast, but when you think about it, they would have had to cold brew it.
Yeah.
So they would have used like a Kolsch yeast and a lager yeast. Or something along those lines.
Jeff says, is it true that Sam Adams brewed the 76 times to get it dialed in, or is that an urban legend? Well, Jeff, I've never heard that one at all, but hashtag dad jokes, perhaps? I don't know. I'm into it. Earth says, I give it a faint citrus. He's still running with the Rod earthy thing. Rod then says, I got a citrusy feel with it. And then Craig says, I will give you that, Nick. I don't know. Maybe from something earlier. I don't know. I don't know. Craig said something. He said, I will give you that, Nick.
He gave me credit for something. I want to see this.
I don't know. I have no idea. He gave you credit for something.
Wow. I don't know what I said.
Jake says, I'll summarize this one in 4 words. Quote, yup, it's a beer. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Rod says, that is an urban legend, Jeff. Eric Gilbert shows up and says, cheers, fools. What's up, Eric? Rod says, I think you all are digging it more than me for sure. I think we are. Backwoods Billy shows up and says, well, let's see what he said here. He said, Sam, any IPAs on point? There's 76 sucks donkey balls.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess he's not
Backwoods said that?
Yeah, he did. He's not a fan.
Wow.
Hey, we all have different palates, right?
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to opinion, no matter stupid your palate is.
That's right.
Sorry, I'm kidding.
Well, everybody's palate is stupid aside from whatever you think of it, right? So I mean, I like we always talk about it. I'm fine with taking recommendations from people, and if my palate matches up 89%, sure. But like, we all have different palates. We're all not going to like the same beers. We're all not going to hate the same beers. Just how it is. So, I'm surprised that we all liked it as much as we have. Honestly, I thought Jesse was drinking a 12-pack of it, and him telling me he didn't have a great experience. I thought he was going to hate it with a passion.
No, I pretty much thought like out of 100 scales, 100. Whatever scoring, the 76 was probably about what the range for the scoring was on that.
Hate it with a passion fruit.
Do not, Nick. Do not. Wow. Jake says, Sam Adams has been kind of meh for me lately. They've been kind of meh for me over the last, 7-8 years. But I always have a small place in my heart for Sam Adams because they helped me get into craft beer. So, they usually do a bunch of styles. And they do them reasonably well. And then, you kind of get an idea of what the style is and you move on to better beers. At least that's what I did. Patrick O'Shaughnessy says, oh, fuck yeah, Sam 76. I guess he's a fan. You a fan, Patrick? Rod says, do agree about Jake saying, Sam hasn't been kind of meh. Jeff says, I just looked it up and they say they brewed over 60 batches to get it dialed in. So maybe it was 76. Wow. They're just not going to tell us. Jake says it is great when I was new to beer, but I'm woke now. Yeah, no, I mean that's what happens to most people. You dip into the Sam Adams, and then you're just like, oh shit, hang
on. Did you see that, Joe?
Oh, is it? Okay, well,
it's the whole Pursuit of Happiness thingy from 1776.
Okay, well then, you know what? I'm still gonna go with the 76 batches. I think that's a better story. I think that's a way better story at this point. Let's see. Backwoods says he loves shandies. Says that Rod J purchased 12 packs of Line and Kugel's lemon shandy. I posted a review about it about 2 hours ago, so he's all about it. Rod J says, "Oh wow, but did they get to 76? LOL. Interesting to know. Probably not. They probably didn't even do 60. They're probably just fucking lying to us. Earth says, if you put it in the American Light Lager category, I'd say solid enough. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I don't rate to styles just because, like, a beer like this, there's like 3 or 4 different styles you could put it in. I don't know what fucking style it is. Probably it fits well in any of the styles you want to mention. A Kolsch, American Light Lager, American Lager, a generic American Ale. Fine. It's all right. Just whatever. It's just a drinking beer, it's solid. That's the way I look at it. Rajay says he's just not a fan of the shandies. Last time at a bar, I had to have the bartender drain pour it as I just wanted the glass. They're just not for me. So, not a fan. Eric Gilbert says Molson should sue Boston Beer for flipping the 67 because there's the Molson 67, right? Right, Nick?
Sorry.
I'm going to need you to check in instead of checking out. Eric Gilbert said Molson should sue Boston Beer for flipping the 67.
Oh, yeah. Well, if Molson 67 didn't suck, I got to give it to you. When it comes to the beers numbered after your years of independence, you guys win.
Do we, though?
Does anybody I would rather drink this than a Molson 67. Thank you very much.
Fair enough. Then Rod says, Earth, that's where it has been placed. So Rod is saying they're technically calling this an American Light Lager. So, it is what it is. Billy says Sam 76 was an epic failure for Sam Adams, so much so that they understood that they not had a good new release in a while. Note they acquired Dogfish Head 300 million. Yeah, we heard about that. Do you mean failure as in like actual like sales wise and whatnot? Billy, is that what you're talking about? Rod says this beer was a 3 out of 5 for me. So yeah, I mean we're not that far off. A 3.5, 3. I mean, Jesse was around a 3.25 and then he kicked it up. Like, it's not that far off, Rod. We do like a little bit more than you, but not that much more. Backwoods Billy says Genesee Cream Ale is so much better than Sam 76. Well, that goes without saying. Come on, Billy. I'm the cream ale guy right here. I'm all about all the cream ales. Give me them. Rod then says, still haven't tried that one, probably because I have to buy a 12-pack to try it here. I don't know if he's talking exactly about the Genesee Cream Ale. I think he might. I might have to send you one if that's the case, Rod. Come on. Cream Ale's a classic. Jake says first time he had this, he gave it a 3.75 out of 5. What was I thinking? I don't know. Maybe your palate was, not woke yet. So as you said, Earth says I'm slightly under Rod with about a 2.75 out of 5. Fair enough. And that's the thing. When we're going to do these, and it's going to happen with the New England Style IPA, you're going to be all over the place because these beers definitely, I mean, Sam Adams is hit or miss for a lot of people. And I honestly thought I was going to be around a 3 out of 5. I don't have preconceived notions. Like I always say, you shouldn't when you're reviewing beer, but I thought if this got a 3.5, I'd be doing good. And it got a 3.5, so I'm doing extremely well. Rod says it's all about what you're feeling, but everyone has their own system. True. Mood plays a huge role when you're rating beers and what you're thinking about beers. You're wherever you are, that's just how it is. There's beers that I've had that just my overall mood changes what I feel about a beer on a specific day. If you're in a pissed off mood, maybe you drink a beer and you're just like, fuck it. I don't really like this. Next time you try it, you're super happy and everything tastes delicious. It happens. Backwards Billy says Genesee cheaper and better, $12.98 a 30-pack, 12-ounce cans. Sam 76 $9.99 a 6-pack. Yeah, they're not $9.99 around here. I know that much. They're in like the $7-8 range, but it's obviously not $13 30-pack. That's it's a bit different. Rod says can see that Earth, not one that I would grab again, but finished it okay. Rod and Billy talk about the cream ale. Rod still hasn't had it. He said if he sees it in the Tall Boys, he thinks he has, he will grab it. If you don't grab it, Rod, then that's on you, buddy. It's delicious. Earth says, oh, snap. Jenny Cream Ale panel review. I actually can get it. Earth, you're welcome, but I already reviewed it on my channel, so I'm not going to re-review it, sons. Oh. That's not what I do on my channel. No revisits. I don't know. Maybe someday. Maybe we'll do it on Rod's channel. Rod, do it up. Well, I'll do it on your channel. It'll be fantastic.
You can always buy 8 cans of it, bring it to Canada, give it to somebody to send them me one, and we'll do it for beer. No, oh shit, we're going off the end of the month.
Yeah, that's what Billy says. Cream ale is the benchmark according to the BJCP, the American Brew Association. When judging a beer, you remove your personal feelings, review it according to the styles. Well, that's if you want to take into account BJCP. I don't. BJCP was started for the homebrewers and stuff, but when you're reviewing beers on YouTube, my personal preference is to review to my personal opinion. And I always state that in my reviews. I never say I'm reviewing to style. Honestly, I've said it before. I have not had every style, and if I've had most of the styles, I've only had a couple within the style. So I can't sit there and tell you exactly what it should taste like when it comes to every single style. And I don't really want to use their handbook I'm reviewing to what I personally feel about a beer. If you want to see BJCP reviews from people, there's a lot of beer tubers that do that, and feel free to check them out. It all depends on your personal taste. Nobody I watch reviews the BJCP. I know Bumpy does the 50 point, which is kind of based on the BJCP. And he's about the only guy I think I follow that I actually watch that does them. But for me, I just, I get why it's a thing, and I get, why it's used. I just, when it comes to YouTube reviews, I don't really care to watch people that do that for the most part. You want to say something, Jesse? I know you're.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. You're right. You're right.
I was trying to think. No, there's a YouTuber, kind of got a smaller channel. One of my other YouTube buddies there, John and Ellie, mentioned her channel before to check her out. She's trying to become a Cicerone.
Oh,
so cool. She's going through her whole thing of.
Is that the Emily Cannon?
Yes.
Yeah. I follow her too. She doesn't really rate though to like BJCP. She's trying to get herself familiarized with the different styles, but I don't think she actually like rates on does the actual entire guideline and whatnot. But
no, I haven't seen her do that, but it was just.
What else we got going on? Backwards Billy says the cream ale style is the only American style. Fact, it's a mixed style beer, lager and ale. And then he talks about how craft beer's been double-digit losses this year. Sam Adams has not made money with craft beer losses. Because they have the Angry Orchard, Twisted Tea, and they're doing all kinds of stuff, different stuff. Jake says, no surprise there. Sours are the shit. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy sours quite a bit. Backwood still talks about, the different basically wines up, spiked seltzers and whatnot are up. Eric Gilbert says Cameron's cream ale murders Jenny. That is not a fact, Eric Gilbert. For you, it does. But I've had both too, and let me just tell you that Cameron's cream ale is nothing else. I'll tell you that one. It's all right. You've had Cameron's cream ale, haven't you, Nick? Mm-mm. You haven't had you did not?
I've never Cameron's cream ale.
Yeah, Cameron's cream ale.
I think I have. I was thinking Genesee. I don't think I've ever had Jenny cream.
Mm-hmm.
That's anyway, whatever. I'd have to take a look at my end tab to see if I've ever had a Cameron's cream.
And Billy makes a good point. That when you said the Cicerone, that's different than BJCP. That's for like the server. Is she doing Cicerone or BJCP? I can't be. BJCP is pretty much for when you're doing BJCP. It started out for homebrewers, but then it kind of morphed into when you do like they use it at the Great American Beer Festival when they're judging beers.
I just noticed like in a couple of videos, she has like the same breakdown that I do. When tasting beer. So and like I said, it comes down to, like I said, I have nothing against BJCP and people who want to rate to that style on YouTube. More power to them. It's just I rate to my personal opinion. I feel like if I'm watching somebody on YouTube, again, this is a personal opinion, but if I'm watching somebody on YouTube, I want to know what they think about the beer, not what they think about the beer compared to what it should be as far as stylistically. I just want to know, do you like the beer or not? That's what it comes down to for me. And again, I might be in the minority. Maybe everybody likes BJCP. Maybe everybody doesn't. I have no idea. But that's why on my channel, I review to personal preference and why I watch people that do that as well. Just to.
BJCP is a fair rating system if you're beer, like actually judging beer in a competition. But when it comes to beer reviews, why does it have to be so complicated?
And like I said, there's a time and place for everything. And like I said, anybody wants to use it, they're going to use it. If they don't, Jesse, it looks like you want to say something, buddy. You good? All right. Just making sure.
Anyway,
it helps me with my scoring.
Yeah.
Oh man. Sorry, Joe.
And I don't do it like the whole BJCP, like break out the book and say, oh, it's going to have this malt flavor, this, that. And it is kind of a 50-50 based on my own personal preference of how it tastes versus other beers I've had within that style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm just getting a little weak. We haven't drank a beer in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, this is what we do. I actually read the comments of the people who are commenting, and then
I am saving the remainder of that for the cool reaction.
Yeah, you gotta save it for the cool. I'll finish up these comments, then we can crack it in the New England style. Backwoods and Rod talking about the different numbers and whatnot. Rod counters with craft beer sales were actually up finishing 2018, while overall beer sales were down. He hasn't looked up the 2019 numbers. Backwoods says BJCP, I review in accordance with their guidelines. Differences, I don't give a score. I personally disagree with the number rating, and that's the beauty about this, Billy. You can disagree with it, and you can have different opinions, just like we all have different opinions in our taste in, beer and anything in the whole world. Basically, we all have different opinions, different taste, all that. Earth says that tells you the macro guys are slacking, Rod. He says sommelier are for wine drinkers and whatnot. We know sommeliers, for sure. He says I think you need to judge for the style personally, add price point, and also how do you give 100 or fail? How you can't give the best in case one is better. Like I said, I think that's all up for debate and how you want to run your channel or how you want to judge beer. That's again my personal opinion. Anyway, Rod J says craft beer sales are at an all-time high. About 15% of all draft beer in the U.S. was sold directly from breweries last year, and 1 out of every $4 spent on beer in 2018 was spent on craft. Jake says, "Oh, of fucking course you're doing a Cuvée." Yeah, Jake. I mean, is there any other way if we're not doing Cuvées? We're doing Cuvées. And then last but not least, Rod J says that was from the recent conference in April in Denver this year. So fair enough. Anyway, this was a review for Sam Adams, not crazy breakdowns of beer sales, although I do appreciate people, pointing out and whatnot. So we're going to review the goddamn, New England style IPA that's been sitting here for 55 minutes. All right. So, it's the New England style IPA, clearly. That's the style. Comes in at 6.8%, 35 IBUs. And freshness, boys, before you, well, I guess you're going to have to pour it now, unless you want to.
Mine was canned in 1479, but it's good until September 19th.
So this is New England style 79, then, is what this is. All right, mine is Best Buy October 2019, so pretty fresh, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Mine's printed right on the edge of the label, so I can't really read the canning date very well. It's but it says a best before date of August 2019. So
yeah, so
I'm drinking this just in time.
Yeah, so yours is like a year old, no big deal. Actually, I have no idea how old yours is.
Well, it says 0701. I'm not sure if that means January 7th or July. Probably not July.
It's probably January, I'd imagine.
Gross.
You didn't, yeah. Well, who knows? I mean, whatever. We'll see. Hops for this they're using are Galaxy, Simcoe, Mosaic, Citra, and Cascade. So big heavy hitters. Look on this one, yeah. It's turbid, baby. It's murky. It had the morbid look to it, baby. Yeah, like this bright orange. And I don't know how it's gonna come off on camera, but on mine it's like bright orange. Jesse, you gotta say something.
Oh. I was just, it's the same as yours.
Okay, I know. We're all going to look the same. We have the same fucking beer. Well, yeah, I have about a 3-finger head because I poured like a moron. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a New England style IPA, maybe not as like milky as some of these look nowadays, like your Trailways and, your Trilliums and your other halves that we all like. But I mean, it's hazy enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh, that's nice, actually.
Of course. I mean, if you go back to BJCP shit, it's just supposed to look super hazy. It doesn't have to look milky.
Mm-hmm. The smell on this is really nice. Now, you talk about stone fruits on the 76, and yeah, I get them here.
Yeah, I actually get a lot of the. I believe this comes from the yeast. It's kind of like an herbal, spicy note.
Yep. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm getting like an herbaceous dankness, baby.
It's like a dank herbaceous, like almost somewhat grassy kind of note.
I get like
stone fruit,
tangerine juice meets mango juice meets peach juice.
Okay, I get the mango, but
I'll go with the tangerine. I'm not getting the mango out of mine.
It smells super sweet.
I'm getting the mango.
And that's, baby, this is the perfect. See, this is what it is. This is what palates are all about.
Mine's probably faded a little, so who knows?
Mine smells really. This smells like a really sweet New England style IPA, like pretty sweet on the nose for me, like really juicy and fruity. The only thing breaking up the monotony of the sweetness on the nose is that herbaceous dankness that kind of Jesse was talking about. What else? You guys got anything else?
No.
Any malt presence? I mean, Nick, there, I'd be looking at you considering yours is the oldest.
I think there's going to be a pretty
fruit. Slightly sweet, but I'm thinking that's just fruit aroma. It's just that little bit of like that mango in the background, mango and stone fruit, and the herbaceous graciousness.
Baby, herbaceous, the dank.
The one thing is it's a little muted, and I think that might be what's Like the hops have faded a little on this thing, and it's just sort of all the juice is still there, but it's just not as potent as it was.
And I would expect that if your cad's, what we think it is, which is probably around 5 to 6 months. I will say this: it smells really good for me. Like I'm enjoying the aroma. So let's get into the taste.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's solid.
Quite a bit of resin poking up in the back.
I will say they've done a pretty good job with the body and mouthfeel, in my opinion. It's not, upper tier, upper echelon, so to speak, but I think they did a pretty good job with it, body and mouthfeel wise.
Yeah, it's got a good creamy texture to it.
Yeah, it's softly carbonated. The body's like straight up medium body, 6.8%.
Medium body, big pithy not so much grapefruit, it's like big pithy mango and apricot coming. A lot of apricot poking up in this thing.
And I'm getting mango and peach, which peach and apricot, I mean, they're similar. So
yeah,
I kind of get like a mango papaya type.
Okay.
Note.
Yeah. It's not as intense as I remember it being. Like, I don't remember this like punching me in the face with all kinds of craziness and just whatever. What's here for me is relatively subtle, but I really do enjoy the flavors, and they're within the realm of the style. So stylistically speaking, I think it's a nice beer. Personal preference, yeah. Like, again, this is the biggest craft brewery in America, and I think they've done this style justice for what they're going for. Can this touch some of the upper echelon, New England styles that we've all had? No, I mean, it's not going to. It's just how it is. But like for something that's mass produced that you can get at like your corner store in America,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, I paid like $16, $17, even $19 for 4-pack of some New England IPAs, and this actually is better than some of those that I've done that with. Not all.
Let's not pretend that all New England style IPAs are created equal. Just because it's from one of the even bigger name breweries, they don't always hit the mark.
I've had some really, really shitty beers from breweries that I love.
Other Half.
I've not had a shitty beer from Other Half, but I've had a couple beers that are not as good as this. It's happened. I mean, that's the reality. And I've had this like 3 or 4 times now, and every time I've had it, it's been pretty similar. I think this one's a little bit more subdued than I'm used to, but this might be like, at this point, mine says October. If we're going 6 months, this might be like 3 months old instead of like the other ones I had were a couple, like 4 to 6 weeks. So I think, and Nick, you having an older one, I could see where maybe.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to this being a bit older, I'm really not getting, like, usually when you start getting the hops that you get really, they're dialed back and they're almost not there, and you start to get this like almost kitty litter kind of taste.
Whoa.
They're coming up, poking up in the back, but I don't get that here. I don't get that chalkiness. I don't get that.
Whoa.
That even the hops, they don't seem that faded. The only thing that really says age to me on this is the amount of resin that I have poking up in the back. It's like this pithy resin that really rises in the back of the palate.
And I can't speak for Jesse, but I'm not getting that. Jesse, you get like a super pithy resinous. Like, I'm not getting that. I'm getting maybe slight hints of it, but not like, it's not like overbearing.
Yeah. And the only other
the slight burn on the back of the throat on the first swig,
like a
but
hopper.
after that,
a little bit hopper. You must be drinking it real fresh then.
Yeah, I mean, so. Go ahead.
Well, I was just wanting to add one more thing. The only other thing, and this is something that I noticed in my when I did my review on my channel. The only other thing I could say that it's kind of a negative for me is that the way that the body and the mouthfeel sits in the back, it almost comes across as like being a little bordering syrupy sweet kind of. Whereas it sits a little heavier, doesn't instead of being creamy like a lot of New England style IPAs tend to be in the finish. But outside of that, this is incredibly solid for what it is. Like almost not quite macro, but it's widely available New England style IPA that doesn't disappoint.
I can't really say much better. What about you, Jesse? Final thoughts? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just enjoying that. At least I'm not getting like a real piney bitterness. That kind of throws me on a lot of beers at the end. Like I'll get like kind of piney bitterness and some that I just don't really care for.
See,
it doesn't have that.
Yeah, I think this follows the style well, as in that you say you're getting like a resinous like finish there, Nick. Like And I can honestly say this finish is sweeter for me, like the style kind of indicates. Very low, moderate, like low bitter. It's not even moderate, just a slight bitterness, slight dryness, but on the sweeter side. Even
though it's resin, it's not. I wouldn't say it's 60 IBUs. It tastes more like 30 or 40.
It's 35.
Yeah, it's 35.
Oh, there you go.
Baby, Nick in the fucking.
I didn't even read that part.
Oh, baby, he's the best.
Baby.
Trust his palate. Understand. Patrick O'Shaughnessy said, baby, he needs some dusted roll right here, baby. Friday night, Nick. No, we're not going to go into it. Anyway, so rating. What are you guys thinking out of 5? We'll go with you, Jesse, since you piggybacked my rating.
I'm going to go with a 3.8 out of 5.
All right, fair enough. 3.8. How about you, Nick?
Given the age of the can and it's faded a little bit, I'm going to give this a 3.5.
Fair. I'm going to go pretty much not right between you, closer to Jesse. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go Nick out of 5. I think this is a Nick out of 5. I think the other cans I had, they're a little fresher. I gave it a 4 out of 5, maybe. Maybe I gave it lower. I can't remember. But yeah, for what it is, I can't. Again, both of these beers, and you can say what you want, and we all have different palates. And I'll just say this for the last time: like we all have different palates. So when people say like, "I hate this beer," "I think this beer is great," or whatever, you're more than welcome to that opinion because that's how this works. Mm-hmm. For I think all of us here who did this, and when I'm saying all of us, I'm talking Nick, Jesse, and myself specifically because we're reviewing it here. I am pleasantly surprised and pretty happy with how both of these beers went tonight. Like I didn't have any preconceived notions. It is Sam Adams. The history with Sam Adams for me has been hit and miss for the last 5 to 7 years. I used to love them when I first got into craft. Then I discovered, so many different breweries and whatnot. I think Sam Adams does a great job introducing styles to people at a reasonable price. The availability is great for all their beers. So I'd always have a special place in my heart, as I said earlier. But like drinking these 2 beers after drinking as many beers as we all have, I can't really complain about either of these beers. I think they're both super drinkable. And for the price point in America, I know it's different for Nick, but for the price point in America, I can't say that the value of them is terrible either. It's pretty damn solid. So,
well, when you consider the price normally you would pay for a New England style IPA, which to me is anywhere between $4.50 and $5, this stuff here is $4.19 a can here, which is like it's cheaper than a Trailway, not by much. Which really, but if you were looking for something you want to buy a lot of, you can't really go wrong with this.
No, you buy a case of it compared to those you 50 cents a can, a buck a can, and you're talking saving $15 to $20, $24 every time you buy a case. That's pretty significant value. For us, though,
here it's, at least where I'm at, I think it's probably about the same throughout the United States, I guess, for Sam. It's $9.99 for a 4-pack.
For a 4-pack, so I have a 12-ounce can, but for the 16-ounce cans,
I would have that in my fridge all the time if I did it for $9.99.
It's $9.99 a 4-pack. I don't remember what I paid for this. I think it was like $2 for this 12-ounce can as a single. So again, value-wise in the States, and you're talking about availability, wherever you get Sam Adams, you can find it. And and nowadays, like I said, your corner gas station carries it, usually super fresh too, which is unbelievable. So, you can't really complain too much about the value and availability if you live in the U.S. Nick's a different situation. So, it's always fun to see what, the price point difference. I mean, Nick, you specifically say that's $4.19 a can. Now, if you buy a 4-pack of it, it's probably in the $16 range, $15.99, I'd imagine. If you did,
like 50, it's almost like $16.80, I would think, for a 4-pack.
Well, I was gonna say they don't do deals then, so they don't do.
No, they don't do that kind of deals. Fucking liquor store.
Yeah, so like you can look at that's like around $3 a can, American, and we're paying about $2.50 a can. So I think price, as far as like value goes, the New England styles a much better value than the Sam 76 without question.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at yours and I see you're drinking a 355 can. I wish they'd do something like a 6-pack of that for like $15 or the regular price for, I think it's like $16 for a regular 6-pack of Boston Lager or something. They'd release that for that. I'd probably buy it more often. And
just have it in the fridge is like a drinking style IPA that you don't have to really think too much about and go crazy.
I mean, New England style IPAs these days are what I drink the most. I usually buy it, but they can be expensive, man.
They can't.
Well, they are mostly what's produced now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
every brewery puts out like 5 different ones now, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I've started incorporating value and availability because like I've had like a half dozen people like be like, oh, you should tell us how much you paid for it or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that that does matter. But like I can almost say every 4-pack of a New England style IPA costs at least $16 nowadays. And most of them are in the $18 to $20 range, no matter where I go. If I go to other half, I'm usually paying $18 to $20 4-pack. If I buy something locally, it's $4 to $5 a can. That's the range. That's just how it is nowadays.
It's like Trailway. If you go up to Trailway up in Fredericton and buy a 4-pack, they'll give you $1 off if you buy a 4-pack. So it's like 17.
Yeah.
$16 or something which is a pretty good deal for New England style IPA stuff. But $16 for 4 of these isn't that bad, really.
It's not terrible, but like you'd rather buy local at that point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay $16 for this.
No.
I mean, I would do it one time just to try it if I never had it. But after I had it, I'd be like,
yeah,
never again.
Well, this is what I'm thinking, like
$9.99. This is probably my third time picking this one up. So
I was just saying that I would buy this way more often if they had like these in 6-packs and the 355s here. If anybody's listening into.
I see what he did there.
I see what he did there.
I mean, it's one of those things where I think the allure to this beer is the price point and availability. That's the whole key, right? Like in the States, if you can buy this and you can get a Rajay deal, I know none of us are getting the fucking Rajay deal, but if you can get a Rajay deal on this, I mean, do it up. Anyway, let's go do comments and then we'll finish up with our coffee. I gotta figure out where I left off. So yeah, Patrick O'Shaughnessy said I need a dusted road in Perth and Nathan, which I already did that Friday night. Starcade. All right. Anyway, Earth says I rate beer in accordance to how much I enjoy said libation. That's exactly how I do. So he rates beers according to how much he enjoys said libation. So he rates to his personal preference how he feels about a beer.
The libraries on Earth.
Jesus Christ, Jesse. Hashtag dad jokes every time. I love it. Can never get enough. Except for I can't.
Just can't get enough, dude.
That's why I bring Jesse on, not because he's reviewing beers, because he's going to bust out like a half dozen dad jokes. It's going to be great. And then one's going to hit. Everyone's going to laugh hard as they possibly can. It'll be fantastic. That's what happens. Eric Gilbert says, looks like a West Coast IPA. Yeah, again, the cameras probably looked way darker. Like it probably looked like more of like a dark orange or something, or like a rust color. I don't know. But in person, it's definitely it was like a bright orange, definitely in the realm. Rod's still going with backwoods about numbers. I'm actually looking at the numbers and stats provided by the Brew Association. I post the link, but it gets blocked here. Yeah, it does. We're posting any links here, Rod. I have no idea if I can do that. Jake says mine's best by September 2019 in the clear this time. Yeah, Jake. Eric Gilbert says, ooh, $10 words. Again, I don't know. Earth says, I'm drinking a Coachella, a Valley Brewing Harvester with grapefruit IPA 9%. What do you think about it, Earth? I don't know if you posted. We'll see. Rod says, any IPA time bringing the fruity goodness. Rod says, this one I dug, and for me, one of the better beers they brought out in a while. I would agree with that. Jake says, despite my aforementioned feelings on Sam Adams, I really like this. I actually really like this one, which I think we all do. Backwoods says, the Brewer Association stats not reliable. He says, look at the sales. Lee Russell says, we're drinking a Sam Adams Summer Ale. I chose poorly. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Lee. Stay away from that Summer Ale, buddy. Earth says, that's not a bad brew in this heat, Lee, about the Summer Ale. I fucking hate the Summer Ale, Earth, so I'll disagree with you. Now we're going to have to fight, Earth. Like, virtually. Can we fight? Meet. What is it? Meet me at the bridge. No? All right. Nick's checked out on his phone.
Sorry.
Jake says, unpopular opinion, love Dogfish Head, hate 90 Minute. I can see it, Jake. I like 90, 60. You know what? If people could get 60 and 90, I would love, because I haven't reviewed it, I would love to do a live review of 60 and 90 just to see what my thoughts are at this point. It's been a while. Backwood says he loves that New England style. He says he thinks they nailed the style, and I'd say yeah, they came. They pretty much did a great job with style. He says Hobo Brewing has a nice New England style IPA. Lee then says, not digging the Summer Ale Earth. It's not terrible, but I like the 76 a bit better as far as their bullshit warm weather seasonals go. And I agree. I like it a lot better. And Earth says, yeah, it's a thin line anyway. Rod says, found this one to have a resiny quality along with a nice citrus feel. Gave that one a 4 out of 5 for my pleasure rating. Could and have crushed these bad boys. So he's more in your realm, Nick, as far as like the resiny feeling to the beer.
Told you.
That just means you and Rod have fucking dumb palates.
Shut up.
I love you both.
Shut your stupid baby palate.
Yeah, my bad. It's a half.
Right, if I can go back to one of the commentaries we were talking about, where did Sam Adams nail the style? I think they gave us exactly what we wanted.
I think for the style, yeah, it's extremely well made and kind of right there where it should be. I don't have no qualms about stylistically it being like not what it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be the best beer in the style. It's just like everything that Sam Adams tends to do. They do a lot of things great, not everything. They do a lot of things well.
Here's the thing, really though, if they did a hop schedule like some of the other craft breweries doing the New England style IPAs, I mean, they'd have to bump the price up on the beer. It wouldn't be a $9.99 beer.
Yeah, and this isn't super crazy dry, double dry hopped or triple dry hopped, and they're you're not usually getting the Sam Adams beers a week or two old fresh. It's usually most people get them in like the 3-4 week range at best. So I mean, stylistically for what the style is, they hit the nail on the head. It's just characteristic wise, it doesn't necessarily resonate with me as some of the other ones do. Like just as flavor profile goes. So, yeah, stylistically correct. Personal preference, not one of my favorite New England style, but definitely good. What else we got? Billy says, any IP should not be resinous. Actually, late edition hops, like cryo hops and whatnot. And yeah, I get that. I didn't get any resinous, but I think that might be an age issue, but that could just be a palate detection issue. I mean, and by issue, I mean not really, just whatever you're detecting, right? Earth says he gave the Sam any IPA a 4 out of 5. When in my defense, I was pretty thirsty at the time. Don't be making excuses for your shitty palate, Earth. Okay, we know it's a shitty palate. Okay, just as shitty as the rest of ours. So, let's see. Rod and Billy are going back about the about the sales and all that stuff and the numbers. I'm not going to read them. If people want to look afterwards, there's a lot of stuff here. Rod says any IPA right here now it's like $8.99 a 6-pack, and that's for the 12-ounce cans, I'd imagine. And he says, does Joe hate Summer Ale or Oberon more? Okay, so I'm going to clear this up for you, Rod, because you always give me shit, and I know you're giving me shit again. Oberon from Bell's, I don't hate. I just don't think it deserves an Oberon day, okay? Summer Ale from Sam Adams, on the other hand, fucking gross. It's just gross.
Yeah. I've had Oberon once. I would actually probably get it again, like if I was at a restaurant. But the thing is, like when I tasted the Oberon, to me, I picked up a lot of like a rubbery, like tire type flavor. Mostly from the yeast, I'm sure, but
for me, Oberon is like well made. It's an American Pale Wheat Ale. Like go back to Billy talking about styles and BJCP. Like stylistically, Oberon is well made, extremely well made. Like
but we both don't really care for American wheat ales either.
No, you and I do not. I like the best American Pale Wheat Ale I ever had was like Gumball Head from Three Floyds, and that's because it was dry hopped with Amarillo, and I like Amarillo.
Right.
Like if you're doing a regular American Pale Wheat Ale, 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, not my jam. But I can't argue that Oberon's a good beer for what it is. It's just not my jam. That's all it comes down to. Summer Ale, on the other hand, I need to review that Summer Ale because I need to revisit. I've had it in like 5 or 6 years. I had it on tap. I had it in the bottle. It was gross both ways. Just not a fan.
Oh, you haven't had the new one?
Maybe you should do an episode on
it. They reformulated it, Rob. We could if people can get this. This is Summer Ale.
Yeah, I used to kind of like the Summer Ale, and I hated it this year.
Why don't we do, since I haven't reviewed Boston Lager, let's do the Boston Lager and the Summer Ale before the end of summer. We'll do that, assuming that Hangouts on the air don't go off the air. You know what I mean? Yeah, see what I did there? But yeah, Summer Ale and Boston Lager, that'd be a nice little 1-2 punch, except for maybe not. Oh God, I'm just Earth says Oberon, Rod. Yeah. Jake says he'd be down for a 60-90 minute review. I'll do 60-90 minute. That will be in the queue, Jake. So I'll let you know when that happens. Yeah, but I'd like to do 60-90 minute because I haven't had him such a long time. Eric Gilbert says, you mad, bro? Meet me at the office meeting room, son. Eric Gilbert.
We could amp that one up, Joe. We could do 60-90 and 120.
I want to maybe survive, but I don't know. We could about that. I don't know. We could. I mean,
on that 60-90, 120 Cuvee.
Maybe we'll do the 60-90, 120, and then we'll do the Cuvee, and I'll be fucking in a dish somewhere dead. It'll be good times, boys. Rod J. LOL's at the Eric Gilbert comment. Earth says, fuck yo couch, Eric Gilbert. Yeah, fuck yo couch. Buy another one, you broke motherfuckers. Or you rich motherfuckers, I think it actually is. Rod says, Earth knows beer, LOL. Yes, he does. Rod says, Oberon Day, best day of spring, sun. Kicks it off. Fucking listen. No, Rod. Jake says, honestly, the only reason to get Oberon is the untapped badge it seems to get every year. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is I just don't buy it. But I get you, Jake. Get those untapped badges. Eric Gilbert says, love a bit of sulfur with my beer.
Hey, don't laugh. There's actually beer styles out there that almost require it, like Pilsner. Technical Anyway,
I know it's a jam, man. All the European. European
well, it's actually required. Like I think BJCP actually requires in a Czech Pilsner there be like a hint of diacetyl and a hint of sulfur.
But that's a diacetyl, baby. Oh,
Maybe
baby.
a little bit of diacetyl in the finish, baby, to make it.
A little butter bomb, baby.
It's one of the ways that they used to like do like when with running Hikeskabot. It's one of the ways they used to do like put their own twist on the style. Like okay, just a little bit of it.
Just a little bit, baby.
Just a little bit of sulfur, the baby.
A little bit, baby. Lee Russell, baby. Shout out to him. Dusty rolled on the stands. Lee Russell, like you wouldn't believe, daddy. He says Sam Adams chose the wrong citrus to go with. Should have did a tangerine or orange. Instant contender with Blue Moon. Is he talking about the summer ale? Because then they do like grains of paradise and lemon in that.
Yes.
Yeah, grains of paradise. Anyway, that's what I remember.
Lemon puree and lemon zest and
what?
I've never had grains of paradise.
It's basically like drinking a bunch of lemon puree.
I've never had grains of paradise.
Sam Adams Summer Ale is actually the first beer I ever had with grains of paradise, but I haven't had it in like 7 years.
Same here. I haven't had summer ale since like 2013, 14. It's been like at least 5 years, maybe even closer to 7.
2012 for me.
We're gonna do lager in this summer ale. We'll do it maybe in August, assuming we have things to do.
If I'm around, I'm for that.
All right, you both are more than welcome. Maybe we'll get Earth on here if he wants to drink some summer ales and lagers.
Drink some grains of paradise on Earth, baby.
Hey, but we'll bring the planet in, baby. That's exactly what we'll do. Rod says Blue Moon not worth contending with. I like Blue Moon better than Oberon. Oh shit, I didn't say that.
No, he didn't.
No, boy.
Yeah, he did.
Actually, I don't think I do, but I just thought I would show. Anyway, Earth says you have to fruit the beer to contend with it. Nowadays, everybody fruits all the beers at all times. And then Rod says, F your fruit, son. And then Eric Gilbert says, I love Pilsner, son, and I'm not showing. I like Pilsner too. I know, Eric, you're a big European beer drinker, so I'm not surprised you love Pilsners, and you probably like all the Pilsners at this point, all the Pilsners ever made. And that actually catches us up on comments. Would you believe that? So we know what time is it, boys and girls.
After 10:30, we would live for an hour.
Yeah, well, whatever. This is my channel and it's shit. Yeah. So we're gonna sit here.
Your motherfucking channel, baby.
Yep. And
now it's time for the Cuvée.
Yep. Why am I pouring this in like I'm a moron? Let's just about half and half. We're gonna do.
I was gonna say anything, but now that you did,
like you're not allowed to say anything. Okay, you're a guest. You can say whatever you want. Actually, doesn't matter.
Sorry, baby.
Don't ever call me baby. Don't ever say baby and let you have the nothing wrong with
yeah. Throw it,
with the name. But you can't say if you're like, what's up, baby? That's cool.
What's up, baby?
You're like, what's up, baby? Like that's not cool. It's just not cool. So anyway, yeah, it pours out. It looks more like the New England style IPA, I would say, than the the Sam 76, but I think that kind of goes. It's basically like the New England style IPA, but like lighter, just a bit lighter.
It looks like a Hammond Brewer logo.
It looks like the Heretic New England style IPA. It's just got a slight bit of haze to it.
Yeah, it actually looks nice, I would say.
It still looks like a New England style IPA, yeah. Maybe not as much head.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get a nose on it. Oh my god! Oh my! I'm just
a lot of
the nose.
It's a little more citrusy.
It's opened up the citrus. Yeah, it's like a lot more citrusy. There's still stone fruits there.
Is that Tangelo? That I smell? Is that Tangelo?
Almost like a little bit of sulfur now. Maybe I'm just thinking sulfur thanks to Eric Gilbert.
Eric Gilbert getting your head now. Come on. Eric Gilbert, stay out of Nick's head. That does not sound.
Fuck your couch.
That does not sound good. Fuck your couch. It actually smells pretty good. I would say, like you said, the citrus opened up a little bit more. I feel like I'm getting more of the malt now. Like I'm getting like this biscuity, like almost bready malt character. Maybe because they've just been sitting here and they're warmer now. I have no idea.
I'll give it that.
Well, plus you've tasted it, so now having that on your tongue will also attribute to the nostril.
It's like this very soft stone fruit and a little bit of like in the back. I'm starting to get that black tea note from the 76.
Yeah, I'm not getting that in the nose right now. Seems like
I still get that bit of herbal spicy note from the.
Yeah, I'm getting a generic dankness. I wouldn't say necessarily herbal or herbaceous, but definitely dankness.
I'm not getting the herbaceousness, but I am getting the dank. It is very muted.
It smells fucking odd. Again, it smells pretty good for a Cuvée. Like I can't sit here and doesn't smell bad. It smells pretty inviting. So let's get into it. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
And girls.
Cheers.
Shut up. Yeah, that's not bad.
That's actually
it's more flat. At least on mine.
You know what this is like? This kind of I'm getting a pretty substantial dryness. I feel like that's coming from like the Sam 76, but it's making me want to go back for more. Clearly, I'm getting more of the New England style IPA in the taste, but like the dryness is from the Sam 76. That's interesting.
It's almost like even fruitier, juicier, but very dry in the back without being not sweet. It's drinking super crushable. That's wow.
This is like you took the Sam 76 and just gave it some more fruit quality. Honestly,
like this almost tastes exactly like there used to be a fruit drink that they used to make in the Maritimes here in Canada called Beep.
Oh yeah,
it was like this citrus apricot drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is drinking almost like a beer that tastes like that. I mean, it's lighter and milder in body, but the flavor's almost spot on. It's very nice. I like this.
Yeah, this is crazy drinkable. Like I just want to drink this all right now. Like it's refreshing. And I'd imagine if we did this say half an hour, 45 minutes ago, and it was cool instead of just kind of almost room temperature now, or cellar temperature, whatever. Because I know you're in the basement, Nick. Technically, I am too. I think this would be like one of the most crushable beers I've had lately, like without question. Like I just want to keep on throwing this back.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting that. I'm not sure how much I mixed completely because I have the strange glass, but I still get some of that lemon note from the Sam 76 in this.
I'm getting a lot of like you guys talked about in the nose, the citrus open up. I'm getting like the lemon. I'm getting like I joked around some Tangelo, but kind of like a juiciness from a Tangelo. Still stone fruits. It has like a brighter fruit character for me than I think both of the beers come like individually. I think this has a better fruit character to it.
Brighter, but maybe slightly.
My biggest issue with this, and I don't know if it's because I swirled it. Mine has no carbonation now.
Yeah,
it's like flat.
Yeah, mine's gone almost completely flat.
Mine, I still on the palate can taste it, but it's still like lightly carbonated. But I think that's partly because I feel like the New England style was already lightly carbonated, but so was the Sam 76. I think they both had like, low to moderate carbonation.
Yeah,
so
and our 76 was not very super carbonated either, and it was also sitting around for like half an hour, 45 minutes before we Cuvied it.
Yeah, if this had a little bit more spritzy, like effervescent carbonation, this would be fucking delicious. I'm happy with saying that. Like I'm fine with saying that. I think this would be, this is good. I think this is better than the 76 for me, and I think it's really close to the New England style, if not just as good, maybe better. I don't know. Rating wise, I'd give this just a 3. I'd give it a Nick out of 5. I can't go higher than the New England style, but I'm liking this better than the Sam 76 combined.
For me, it's got a mixture of both in the flavors. I'm still getting a lot of the lemon from the Sam 76. Like I said, I don't know if I evenly distributed in my Cuvée, but the flatness to me is throwing it off a bit. I'm at a 3.5 with it.
Okay, so you're right around Sam 76 score. Okay,
it just kind of enhanced the flavor of the Sam 76 a little bit more, but
I got you, Jesse. Oh, let's do it. All right, Nick, how about you?
I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. I mean, it does say it tastes like I almost feel like it's like it's a hoppier, juicier version of the 76, but it's flatter, just like what Jesse just said. And 3.5.
All right, so I'm a little higher, but I'm really digging. For me,
it's super crushable.
Yeah, my beer's not as flat as your guys' is like just based on what I'm tasting. It has carbonation. It's still lightly carbonated, but it's not flat. So yeah, I think that's why I'm bumped up a little bit. But I like the flavors of this, and fuck me, it's pretty good. All right, so we will finish up here with comments. We have Earth says bourbon barrel aged Pilsner, son. Oh, that's been done, Earth. It's been done so many times. Bourbon barrel aged lagers, bourbon barrel aged IPAs, all kinds of stuff that surprises you at times, but maybe it shouldn't. Eric Gilbert says, I'll do that. I don't know what I said exactly, or anybody. Maybe he'll drink a bourbon barrel aged Pilsner. I feel like that he might. Jake is not cuving them. He's not doing the cuvee. He says, I'll just take your guys' word for it. We'll take our word for it, Jake. It's not terrible. Not necessarily better than either of them. But it's not a bad cuvee. Probably one of the better cuvees I've done. I don't think it really... It certainly didn't make... I don't think the beer's worse. Let's just say that. I think it's kind of... Earth says, don't do that, Jake. We have no clue what we're talking about. And that's what I always say when you come to my channel. I have no idea what the fuck I'm ever talking about. So don't ever take my word as gospel. Actually take it as what you should. And that's just one man's opinion who has a hashtag baby palate.
Well, but to be fair, Joe, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about sometimes either. So it kind of works out.
I just...
Oh,
how drunk are you, Nick? I just said I just said that that's exactly what I just said, Dave. Don't listen to me.
Okay, then I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, you're agreeing with me, but you did it in a way that so you're like, don't take this the wrong way. I just said I'm a fucking moron, Nick. You hammered? Nick, you hammered?
Yes.
Nick,
no.
Me too.
Not yet. I'm working on it.
It's gonna happen soon. Then Jake says, how can the whole planet not know what it's talking about? Oh boy. The fighting words. Earth says, is the planet supposed to talk? That's a good point. And he says he accidentally burped the other day. That's the quake you felt in Southern California. Jesus, Earth. Got to bring it in, buddy. Jake then laughs at that because it was pretty good. That was pretty good. Not quite a hashtag dad joke. I appreciated it. Rod says, great stream, guys. Thank you, Rod. Rod, I said you could join. You never said anything, but you're more than... Whenever you can get the beers, let me know. You're more than welcome every single time, Rod. Every time. You don't have to ask. You just have to say, hey, I can get those beers. And I'll be like, yeah, here's the link. Fucking hop on here and we'll review beers. You don't even have to. Todd says Cheers was busy and now just able to tune in. Well, fuck you, Todd, for not supporting us, but appreciate you stopping in late. Todd's a great dude. He's got a family. Who's going to watch some loser on fucking YouTube with friends drinking beer? Like, I get it. I get it, Todd. No big deal. Eric Gilbert says Physics It. Wrong channel. You want to look at Chris from Off the 10th, who hasn't I don't think he physics any beer. Any physics to any beer in like the last 6 months, so maybe not even that.
You got to get physical.
There you go. Hashtag
for fuck's sake.
Right there. That's the third one I can tell tonight.
Listen to your body talk.
That's not a hashtag dad joke. That's a hashtag sad joke. And also, I'm very frustrated at this point. Rod says, all good. Appreciate it, buddy. 76 wasn't as enticing for me. Todd, Rod, you could probably get that for like 33 cents a can. Don't be bullshitting me. Don't be bullshitting me. Come on. Todd just laughs at me telling him to F off, but joking around. Todd knows what's up. Earth says, what a physics? Chris isn't here. He's not. And it probably wouldn't physics. And at this point, for Nick and Jesse, it totally wouldn't physics since it's basically fucking flat to begin with. So, like, there's no physics going on here. Wouldn't do anything. Rajay says, dad jokes again. Todd says, I can get those beers. What about me? Only kidding. Todd, you're welcome. Whenever we can get the beers, I've most of the people who I'm good friends with, you're more than welcome to join me. I'd like to keep my live reviews to like 5 or less people, just so we're not talking over one another. But like, just let me know. Like, if I have it set up or whatever, and you want to join, Todd, Rod, Earth, guys like that, fucking, Craig from Kemp Beer Reviews, all, everybody that's fellow beer tubers or guys that are on streams and whatnot, you guys are more than welcome to join me as long as you can get the beer. That's the way I look at it.
Or even former beer tubers like Lee, if you did this.
Yeah, if Lee can get Boston Lager and Summerale wants to be on the fucking panel, I don't think he'll want to buy Summerale again, but if he wants to, he's more than welcome to. That's just how I roll. You know what I mean? I don't care. Anyway, Todd says, appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you, Todd. Need some more 450 Norse maybe in the fall time so they don't explode in the mail. But, either way. So, we're done. Sam 76, I think the general consensus was pretty fucking solid for what it is. General consensus on New England style IPA, pretty fucking good for what it is. Like, I mean, they're both pretty good stylistically. I think they're fine. We all like the New England style IPA a little bit better. The physics, fuck me. The Cuvee, not physics, but cool. Well, the physics, Cuvee. The Cuvee I liked a little bit more than Nick and Jesse, but not a bad Cuvee whatsoever. I think the takeaway from this review specifically is that if you live in the States and you can grab either of these beers and you see them and you want to give them a go and you've never had them, feel free to do so. Not a bad choice, especially at the price point you'll probably find in the States. Don't expect the world for the Sam 76, but the Sam Adams New England style IPA is pretty damn good for what it is. So, I think this went way better than I expected. I don't know about you guys. I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, and also, if you got like somebody that drinks Budweiser, Miller, any of those, I'm pretty sure they could handle a Sam 76 and be.
Oh yeah, they could.
That Sam 76 is incredibly approachable for somebody who's not into bitter beers.
So one thing about Sam Adams, and I think most of you would agree, even people watching, Jesse and Nick, is that Sam Adams is great for people who are trying to convert. Like they have so many styles that are that like, I'm going to convert you from a macro drinker to a micro drinker. And I think, like you guys said, this is a great beer. It really is.
Even if I may add to that, even then, I think this is maybe a bit more approachable than Boston Lager is, because Boston Lager comes out more bitter than this, like harsher, more bitter when they first drink it up front. So if they see this, and give this a shot for sure, because 12 IBUs, drinks soup like a nice fruity black tea notes. If you're, it's super crushable, super approachable. That's solid starter beer if you want to get into craft stuff.
And I think Earth had a perfect follow-up. He says, party beer you won't cry about if a couple drunkards knock them on the ground. Yeah, like it is.
$1 something American a can. Fuck yeah.
You could probably buy, I don't know what the case for Sam 76 would be, but I'd imagine it's probably in like the $20-something realm. So like, yeah, you could bring a case to a party or a couple cases, and like, yeah, you're not. It'd be the equivalent of almost a macro beer, kind of, in a little bit more expensive, but like
even to a degree, if you weren't into drinking beer at all, you're used to drinking like vodka coolers or something like that. Like it's full of peach and stone fruit notes. It's super fruity.
Yeah, and go back to like a couple people like didn't really care for it in the comments. Billy and somebody else mentioned it, but like. Rod wasn't a huge fan of it. That's the thing. Like this beer, you'll have different opinions on, like a lot of beer, but I still don't think for the price, it's still a bad beer. Like even if you give it a 3 out of 5, or that's what you're thinking, I still don't think for the price that's a bad beer. It really isn't. So
I'm about to get us all free Sam 76 for life.
Nice.
Yes, Jim Cook is a damn genius.
All right. Well, here's the thing. That would work well if anyone in my channel existed and actually watched Jesse, especially an hour and 15 minutes into the fucking chat, right? So if we do end up getting Sam 76, I'll drink the shit out of it. I'm just not.
It'd be a summer crusher like that. I'd drink it all the time if I could get this cheaper free.
This shot works. I wouldn't red beard it though. No offense, red beard.
Yeah, no.
Backwoods Billy says Sam Adams will be better with Sam from Dogfish on board. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they're doing with the whole merger. It'll be interesting.
I'm hoping that like with this the Dogfish Sam Adams merger, that I might see availability of Dogfish.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Selfish.
I mean, I've had 60, I've had 90, I've had a number of Dogfish Head beers, but they've always come from people who brought them up from the States. I've never had one, never seen Dogfish Head here, and I would love to, because they make some, or at least they did make some solid beers that I pined after like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, they still do. They still make good beers. They do.
My favorite Dogfish Head, just while we're on the subject, is the Noble Rot.
You like Rot? I like the Indian. Is it Indian Brown Ale? That they're like whatever brown IPA. Like it's like a brown ale. It's like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I haven't had it in a while, but that's a beer that. But the Noble Rot's good. The thing about Dogfish Head is they're not afraid to take a chance with a lot of the stuff they do. Like they're crazy, like historical ale series and whatnot. But people like to go back to 60 and 90 minutes and what it's like. Those beers were amazing in their heyday, because a lot of places weren't producing that.
Back in like 2012, like Dogfish Head 60 or 90 was just phenomenal.
Yeah, but now
my first craft beer was Dogfish Head 60 minute.
Wow. And
I was in a restaurant and I'm drinking it and I'm like, it tastes like friggin' rusty pennies. Who the hell would want to drink this? By the time I finished the glass, I ordered another one though. I was like, that's not too bad.
And go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you can't discount 120 minute.
Oh no,
that's some solid stuff. I mean, it's not really. Do you want to even call it an IPA at that point? But at the same time, it's a very unique and solid beer that I actually really liked the last time I had it. So.
And that beer ages extremely well and changes the complexity of the beer each time you have it from like year to year. It's crazy.
Like hoppy barley wine at that point.
Yeah.
Long ale.
Jake says Sequench Ale is my jam, and that's the thing. I did those live,
Sequench,
and that's a fucking just delicious beer. Like as you want a fucking basically a kettle sour that's kind of just easy drinking and super refreshing. Like, yeah, I can see people buying like 15 or 18 packs or whatever they sell them as. Like, it's a great beer. Earth, of course, takes it to another level, only as the planet can do, and says, how about a 30 pack of Worldwide Stout? Well, yeah, that'd be interesting. It'd probably take me about, I don't know, at least 30 months to drink all that, because that's a fucking huge beer that is delicious. But yeah, that's a big beer. And they're expensive.
You have to work a lot of overtime for that too.
Yeah, you spend a pretty penny because it's $10 a bottle, and they don't usually, places I buy it at, when they sell them in 4-packs, it's still $40 a 4-pack. They're not giving you any deals. It's not like, oh, we'll give you it for $35 a 4-pack. No, you're still paying $10 a bottle. It's just give you 4 of them. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, okay. But yeah, a 30-pack of it, you'd be broke. No doubt. That's basically $300. And whatever. Maybe just don't go with electric one month. So yeah, anyway, let me shout out all the people in the chat. So we'll go in order of people. So Jesse from Bumpy Road. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get to you in a second. Rod, because I forget Rod the one time. I forget Nick. I forget Nick occasionally. Not all the time, Nick. We'll get to you at the end. But like when you post in the comments,
don't
I know. Me. No, I mean, it's it's a love-hate relationship. I love to hate you. Rod says, Rod. Last thing Rod posted was, I know a guy. LOL. Rod's is great. If you've never checked out Rod J Beer Ventures, go do it. He's over 1,000 subs now. He's trying to get that money, that beer tube money. But Rod's channel is fantastic. He's a great dude to boot. So what's not to love about Rod? Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, still my favorite. My favorite English beer reviewer, I'd say, from the UK. I would say he's probably my favorite European beer reviewer at this point. I don't know. I love Craig. Good dude. Earth doesn't have a channel. He's the whole fucking planet, though, so you got to shout him out, right? Don't want him to get pissed off at us.
He's all the channels, man. He's fucking Earth.
Yep.
He's full of dirt and wetness.
Yep. I mean, that can describe a lot of beers. Jeff, aka No Jinx, just a great dude. The generosity. Jeff and I were talking today. He's going to send me another beer mail, and just, I don't know. I've met so many good people in the beer tubing community, but Jeff, he's not a fellow beer tuber. He just loves beer, and he just sends me all kinds of crazy shit from Michigan. I can't thank him enough. He's just a great dude. I mean, he's so nice that he sent me beers to bring to the Well and Piss Up that. Some of them went home with Nick. One went home with Nick. One went home with Redbeard. They reviewed them. Like, that's just what he is. Doesn't expect anything in return. And I try to hook him up, and I just fail every time because he just sends me so much beer. But I appreciate everything that he has sent my way. Jake says, Nee always checks out the live reviews. Great dude. I follow him on Untappd. He's always drinking different beers. And he always shows up here with the beers too. So I always appreciate him drinking along with us because that's cool. I've done that a couple times when people done live reviews and I drink along with them, and it's a lot of fun. Shout out to who else we got here? We got Eric Gilbert, our resident troll here who shows up on Nick's channel. It shows up on my channel all the time and just pokes fun all the time. I wouldn't have it any other way. Shout out to Backwoods Billy Craft Beer Reviews tonight. Talking about the BJCP and stuff, and we have a different opinion in that and whatnot. But that's what makes the craft beer fun. We all don't have to see eye to eye when it comes to certain things. And check out Billy's channel. He does a lot of different reviews and tastings. He does wine and stuff like that too. So check him out. Patrick O'Shaughnessy, who wanted me to do a Dusty Rose impersonation, which I delivered on. Doesn't have a channel, but he comments a decent amount too. So shout out to him. Who else showed up? I'm forgetting other people. Am I not? Or is that it? Anybody? Oh, Todd. Todd showed up at that and was like, "What's up, dudes? I missed it. I missed the entire thing because I was spending time with my family and doing like parental stuff." Oh yeah, whatever, Todd. Well, yeah, and shout out to Lee Russell, former king of BeerTube, no longer BeerTuber. They must be destroyed on site podcast, movie podcast. Check him out. Does a great job with him and Daniel and Paul over at Paper News, fellow BeerTuber, great friend of both Nick's and myself. And I think that's it. I think I got everybody in as far as shout outs go because you guys don't like to do the shout outs. Oh, Ethan shows up. Ethan's Beer Reviews. Shout out to Ethan, great dude. He says, "Cheers, guys." Rajay says, "Oh, shucks, Joe. Thanks."
I hope everybody in the chat said cheers. Or what?
Everybody's just just cheers and
because Nick just took a picture.
Oh, fucking Nick. Come on. Goddamn nerdy nerd. That's all right. Take all the pictures. Ethan shows up.
Well, I gotta finish that roll of film. It's the leftover roll of film from the piss up, right? So
okay, yeah, I guess just
take get those developed.
Of us fucking reviewing beer on the YouTubes. Ethan says, "Cheers, guys. I missed it all." Well, I guess that's something you and Todd have in common. Yeah, but anyway, so that does it for shout outs and comments. If you guys post any comments after this, I read them because I don't know, I'm done. So we're gonna segue over to Jesse. Jesse, if you want to mention anything about your channel, anything you got going on, feel free.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, I started off my channel. We'll go back to the beginning real quick. Just wanted to do home brewing because I'm a home brewer. So that's basically what I want to focus on. But realize that I don't home brew enough to actually keep making videos that's going to keep anybody interested in coming back to my channel. So I started doing some beer tasting stuff. Never really tasted beer before, but it got me interested in actually looking into what aspects of beer, you can pick out, like the flavors, the aromas, all that stuff. So it's actually brought me closer to the craft itself. So I've just recently started the Bumpy 50-point inspection, working some tweaks out. Might have it down now, I don't know. But my most recent thing I just started doing, I found out that refrigeration is fantastic for beers. I used to keep all my beers just out on the shelf. So drink them room temperature. I believe that would be PA Brew News, Paul. So like 70 plus degrees Fahrenheit.
Oof.
That's where I was doing most of my beers at. So actually I've started putting them in refrigerator. So I found out that they actually have some better flavors when they're, a little bit colder.
Even though Paul likes to drink everything room temperature, which there's nothing wrong with it because you'll find the faults in every single beer when you're drinking at room temperature. There are some styles that you should drink a bit cooler. I'm not saying you have to drink them ice cold, but drinking them at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, not going to hurt anybody. They still have to open up with the flavors. Paul still doesn't believe that. Everything's got to be room temperature. But the one thing I'm finding out is storing the beers at room temperature isn't the greatest. He's had like 3 beers blow up on him in the last 3 months, which is from not refrigerating them and them, probably
even really strong sellable beers, you really should keep them cool. You don't want to keep them warm because over time they are going, any kind of trace infection in them is just going to bloom when you do that. And of course, boom, as soon as you open the lid.
Keeping them consistent temperature.
Consistent. You might get like negative effects from off flavors or something during the aging process. So,
I mean, that's the thing. Like I always let my beers warm up to, some like even my IPAs I let 23 out of the fridge, but I'm not drinking them at 70 degrees. Sure, I'd be able to pick off flavors and whatnot, but like when the brewers say, hey, drink this one cool or drink this one cold, or they recommend the temperature, they're doing that because they brewed the fucking beer and they want you to drink it at a certain temperature. You
like Coors Light or something.
Yeah, but Paul's never going to
taste shit. Like, it tastes like shit warm anyway.
Oh yeah, no, it tastes like shit warm. Cold doesn't matter. It's garbage beer. Anyway, and I saw the beer analysis 101, so I know that whatever got like a 3.7.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
it passed
out of 10.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah, that's right. 3.72, I think it was out of 10, which is gross. But yeah, Paul will never listen to us, so that's just another story for another day. So Nick, what do you got going on your channel? Anything going on?
Well, I mean, I don't really need to introduce myself because I've been doing BeerTube for about 8 years now. Anybody hasn't checked out my channel really should.
You're a big shot. Is that what we're saying? You're a fucking big shot. Did you mute yourself? What happened? You mute yourself, Nick. We can't hear you. You
10 years and you can't figure this shit out.
Yeah,
stupid microphone. Well, this microphone's got like this touch sensitive. Yeah. This microphone's got this touch sensitive button. If I just grab my microphone, sometimes it goes off.
All right, whatever.
Anyway, so what's going on is big shot. What's going on my channel lately? I've been burning through the reviews and stuff that came from the fest. I still gotta edit and upload some stuff, but I got some footage that's coming from the Albine Round Beer Fest that we had in May. I will have some reviews coming in the near future and I want to get them uploaded this year instead of like last year's videos I posted last week, or 2 weeks ago, where I I'm going to the Big Axe Beer Fest this weekend in Nacogdoches, New Brunswick, where there will be all kinds of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and PEI breweries, and even one from Belgium and one from Ontario. Anderson Craft Ales is going to be at that fest, which is interesting. Well, Anderson Craft Ales has some ties with Petit Saut in Edmonton, New Brunswick, so they send some beers down and they go to this fest every year. So it's just like I go there and I'm like, Anderson, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird.
I see them at the albino round of beer. I even struck up a conversation this year with the guy from Anderson, just asking him. I was like, okay, like how do you know so? Why do you guys go every year? Apparently, the former brewmaster or something there used to work at Petit So. Anyways, yes, yeah. So I got some footage. I'll have some footage coming up in the near future from the Big Axe Beer Fest, and of course, want to do some more reviews. So I'll have some more content coming forward, and of course, I do hope that my weekly episode of Beer Analysis 101 will continue in August and beyond. We just need to figure out some kind of intermediary, like transitionary thing. But for the time being, we're kind of tentatively saying that there may be an interruption after August 1st.
So let's touch on that a little bit. Let's touch on that, but we didn't. So we'll make this review even longer. Who the fuck cares? There'll be timestamps for people watching back. But yeah, so when you start now a Hangout on Air, I have it over here. It says this Hangout on Air is live, but underneath it says Hangouts on Air is going away August 1st. For quick streaming, try youtube.com/webcam. So there is a very real possibility come August 1st that they're not going to have a replacement for Hangouts on Air. So we won't be able to do these live streams where you can invite people. You'll still be able to go live, just it'll be solo. So we're hoping, Nick, I know Jesse and just other beer tubers and other YouTubers in general, that they actually replace this with something, because I can't imagine them. That's like a big hit to a lot of different YouTube communities, and especially the beer tubing community. Because I watch, probably 3 or 4 shows on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, of people who have shows. I mean, I'm on the Rajay, Beer Flow show every week, and and then Nick does his Beer Analysis 101 in the after show, and I watch other people's like Craft Beer Pours and stuff. I just can't imagine them just like shutting that down and not having something to go August 1st. And if that is the case, then fuck YouTube and fuck Google in general, because that's bullshit. You're kind of
that's the other thing I'm thinking too. That you brought that up. What they just did with the whole like not being able to use your mobile phone to do live streaming if you're under 100. Maybe they're trying to get rid of everybody that's kind of just low.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Are they going to get rid of like, okay, you can do multiple person hangouts, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers or more to do it?
Right. Yeah,
that stuff's stupid.
And I hope because this is a lot of fun. This is like honestly, like I review beers. I post beer reviews every day, but like this is something I look forward to each week.
Yeah, this is a become over the last 6 years a way of life for us in BeerTube. Like before, we just had channels and we talked to each other occasionally, but now we've become a tight-knit community as far as BeerTube goes because of these Google Hangouts. It all started with Beer Dweebs United on Chad's channel, really, where we had these weekly Hangouts and they just grew from year to year, and it expanded from there. Like now everybody else has got their own Hangouts going on. There's usually a good Friday night. There's like 3 or 4 BeerTube Hangouts going all at once. Somebody's got a Hangout going somewhere every night. But like just to say that cut that off, then that really is a negative impact to our entire BeerTube community, and I'm not sure how we're going to get through this.
Yeah,
if they don't have a replacement.
Now we have. I'll read the rest of fucking. I said I wasn't going to read any more comments, but how can I ignore the people who come and post comments? Did you just snort a line on my channel live?
No.
No, okay, good thing. If you didn't, I wouldn't be mad at you. I'm just saying you're enjoying life a little bit more than us. But
crusty boogers.
I know, Nick. I'm just. If you snorted a line on my channel, that'd be probably ill-advised. Anyway, Rod says no Google Hangouts. Nah, I know a guy. It'll be okay. So he says seriously though, it's just being replaced. So I'm gonna listen to Rod because Rod has 1,000K. He's making the big money now, even though he's not. So
the whole worry I've got with that is that like when you it suggests you to go to youtube.com/webcams or something like that, but there's no multiple person.
I feel they'll probably add something. They can't be that stupid. I mean, they could be, but I doubt it. So I'll read the rest of these comments and we'll So the hope is they replace it and we got something because otherwise I guess I'll just be doing these solo going forward, which will suck because I've done some solo and I enjoy them and I appreciate everyone who shows up, but doing them with 2 or 3 other people is a lot of fun. Like tonight, so anyway, the last stuff we got, Eric Gober says 45% review. Sans, cheers. Okay, so we only got 45. We couldn't even get 50%. What kind of bullshit is that? Eric Gober says boiling hot baby in reference to Paul. Rajay says Paul likes them hot. Yes, he does. He says storing in cool basement area can work if you get a spot. Never had the boom boom. Yeah, that's what it is. Keeping it cool, keeping it consistent.
I keep a lot of mine in a cool corner of the basement.
Yeah, I actually have mine in kind of the same room that I review in. It never gets above really.
Like I got a mini fridge over there that's like some of the sensitive stuff, but as for like cellarable ages, it's all kept near concrete floor.
It never gets higher than 70 and never lower than like 62 down here. And I know when they talk about like second fermentation and whatnot, it's like 75 or higher. And it never gets down, never gets here, and it's always consistent. So
it's not like taking 9% beers and keeping them near a furnace for 3 years.
Yeah, you're not doing that. Hopefully not anyway. Earth says third and fourth fermentation. Yeah, I mean, probably when it comes to Paul. Like when you're having tops blow off in your living room or wherever in your dining room, yeah, that's cause for concern. Eric Gilbert says he keeps his beers at 40 degrees. I don't know if he means Celsius or Fahrenheit. If it's Celsius, we're in trouble. If it's Fahrenheit,
well, he's Canadian. So.
He is. So, yeah, I don't know. Rod says Nick got kind of smug there when you're like, I've been on YouTube for 73 years and I got
8 years, bitch.
And I'm the fucking man. Eric Gilbert says Nick thinks he's a whiskey tuber over here. I'm going to do what? Jesus Christ. Earth says, what's the beer next week? Oh, wait. I already said, Earth, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing with my channel at all, so I have no beer for next week.
Next week's beer is going to be a Cuvée.
It's probably going to be fucking beers that people can't get or something that I can't really set up with people. If I even do one, I don't know. It's going to be hit or miss for the next month or so. Rod laughs at Eric's comment, says, mention about the Google Hangouts and it's being replaced. Earth says audio only with Discord. I mean, that's kind of like podcast-esque at that point. And then Rajay says they have a new program they are launching actually. So how the fuck do you know this, Rod? You got these insiders? What's going on, buddy? Shit's getting crazy, buddy. All right, I was going to go into a whole Canadian thing. Jesse has apparently just muted himself, and he's probably talking with the wife or something. But
no, I'm here. I took a bumpy leak. I didn't want everybody to see or hear that, so I'm here.
Well, thank you for thinking about us, Jesse. I do appreciate that. I mean, why not? But so yeah. Anyway, I'm actually going to shut this down momentarily. Rajay says he's involved. Oh shit, he's involved. So Rajay's got
shit sons. Must be because he's got over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, because you got over 1,000 subs. You're kind of
reeling in all that beer tube money.
Rod, are you the big deal that Nick thinks he is? Is that what you're telling us? Anyway, like I said, I appreciate everybody who commented today. I appreciate both Jesse and Nick for showing up once again on my subpar channel of grossness. Always have a good time when they're involved. Lee says if people would try reading up on it and doing research, they might have time to stop crying about what's going on. Yeah, Nick and Joe. Fucking dummies. I actually didn't listen. The only thing I saw was your guys' after show from Nick's channel last week. I read about it, and they said the two things I read about it was that they didn't know if it was going to get replaced, most likely, but I did not see anything about it. So I would imagine YouTube being YouTube that they would have something to replace it. So yeah.
Maybe it's in like the Google creator emails
for
people over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you got over 1,000 subs and you don't do anything anymore, you fucker. Anyway, do appreciate the information, Rod and Lee. That's messed up, but I'm going to direct all your hate, Lee, right to Nick because he deserves it for being Nick. Also, anyway, we're done. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Nick. Check out both their channels. They already plugged their channels. Nick, Maxwell Star Beer Reviews, although it's just Maxwell Star is the name of his channel. Jesse, Bumpy Road Brewery, homebrew stuff, whatever. I guess check out my channel if you're not subbed yet. And if you're not subbed, well, don't blame you. Let's just say that. I post a review every week. And by every week, I mean every single fucking day. Sometimes multiple times per day. Maybe too many reviews. But I have a lot of beer sent to me by nice people. So that's what happens.
Anyway, so many I can't keep up with them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jesse. At some point,
is there an after show?
And here's that was going to be the last question. The last question is, will there be an after show where we can go and chat? And the answer is,
guys want to do one? I am up for it.
Up to Nick.
I've got a lot of good beers to drink now that we've done the Sam Adams stuff.
That hurts me, Jesse.
Anyway, better beers to drink.
If there is an after show, head over to Nick's channel. He'll be hosting it, I'd imagine. Rib Beard is probably nursing his ribs, and or fucking sky high right now. But either way, we're gonna do an after show on Nick's channel. Go check us over there. Next week, I don't know if there's gonna be a show here. If there is, It will be 8 p.m. because Nick's probably not going to join me, so I don't have to push it back. Thanks, Nick. But
thank you for doing that one night only there, Joe.
Oh no,
even though it's like 11 o'clock here already because we're still going 2 hours later.
That's right. We chat with the comments. That's what we do. We don't ignore them, even though most of them should be ignored. No offense to anybody in the comments. Anyway, yeah, check us over at Nick's. If there is something next Monday, I'll just schedule it. So just check out my channel like Friday, Saturday, and you'll see what it is. But anyway, you'll get a notification as long as you're signed up anyway for the notifications. If not, do that. And if not, then whatever. If I have a channel or I have a show and you don't show up, whatever. You'll be like Todd.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to Joe and ring that bell.
Yeah,
and you can ring it for all, or you can actually select now, I guess, what you want to be notified on.
Yeah, just get notified about the live shows and don't watch my shitty regular views. There you go. Done. Set up. Anyway, thanks to everybody, including these two. Potentially next week. If not, we'll see you on Nick's channel momentarily.
Word.
Okay, bye.